Hello viewers, welcome back. We're going to be trying challenge modes for map 3 of Defense Grid 2. Welcome to my Let's Play. We're going to start with one of my favorites. It's sort of dumb, but I really like grinder missions. They force you to build your mazes in slightly different ways, as the later waves are very large and have significant numbers of enemies on them. They tend to force you to build highly scalable defenses rather than defense in depth. You want to be focusing AoE damage very heavily rather than long periods of point effect damage. Let's give this one a go. I've been playing around with it a little bit before. We have a new method of gun turret, but it's shield piercing rounds, which we're not going to be interested in. We know that we're dealing with 100% walker waves, and that's going to make that's pretty much we're going to do the entire thing with, I think, laser turrets and inferno turrets. The inferno turrets being our primary source of AoE damage in this case. So I like our layout here. Let's go. And I'm going to have to run this entire thing on fast because it takes quite a while, and that will be the only way to get it done in any sort of timely fashion. So we're going to tend to prioritize having the Inferno turrets up here, and then on the perimeter, while we also have laser turrets concentrated in the center. Also, we're going to be using lots of boost turrets because there's a lot of money to be had here, and so spending a little bit of extra money for the increased range, plus having the option for the overcharge, is going to be pretty key here. I don't like how many of those are getting picked up. I mean, we'll pick them off, but yeah, we're running into that situation. So yeah, you can see just how many have been picked up, and that's going to lower our score for this segment considerably. Oh, we botched this already. Okay. Going to prioritize getting this turret upgraded. Getting the AoE damage portion upgraded early. We can probably pull through it without doing that, but getting this is going to put us in a better position for later waves. I really like to get this to a level 3 turret as fast as we can. Hopefully with the boost once we've cleaned out this wave, I guess. There's a couple of packs there that got through untouched, but those last packs are going to be extremely weak. We're going to go ahead and use this, our orbital weapon tower overcharge in order to just clean up this. Make up for what happened when we upgraded this turret and a couple of packs got through unhurt. possible using the wide beam version of the laser turrets is a better idea here rather than the tachyon, but I think this method's going to work pretty well, so. Now we're finally catching up. Next 600 will go into upgrading this turret to level 3 once these packs are passed. And dropping another Inferno turret. Getting an upgrade onto this turret would be good. And why this turret? Because it's in the prime damage position for picking off things as they're coming into the last approach. It's got a lot of firing arc there. It's on 40,000 damage. This one, well, that one's been upgraded to level 3 for a considerable amount of time, so perhaps an unfair comparison there. And we're gonna let money pool for a bit. Max upgraded Inferno turret is 1050. So if we can store up enough money, I would like to be able to drop 2 Inferno turrets here and just upgrade them to max before I have to use them. The act of dropping the turret here is going to reduce the range of fire of these two a little bit, so I really only want to do it once we have all the funds to fully upgrade them. Plus, the maze that we have right now is currently seeming to be sufficient to deal with things. So we have enough for 1 turret. Still dealing with things adequately. I think after this wave goes by, we'll start the process. Okay, they're through.
Returned.
And the act of actually getting gold mode on here I don't believe is actually very challenging. These are usually set up with this type of map is usually set up with a considerable amount of leeway. Completing it successfully is more the hard part, and we seem to be managing all right at the moment. So I think we're going to start Phase 2, which is the construction of some Inferno turrets along this outer perimeter. Just increasing the area over which we're dealing AoE damage. I think we're going to do some of them with boost towers underneath them, in order that we can use the overcharge enhancement. In theory, it gives them somewhat extra range, although I haven't tested that precisely. I suppose we can check right here. So that one versus... if it's an increase, it's a very small one. But the ability to overcharge for an extra 25% damage there is going to be nice. And then we're going to have probably, I don't know, I haven't timed it before, 10 to 20 minutes of this going on. Just upgrading turrets as the funds become available. The arrangement seems to be working well. I like it. I don't think I'm doing anything particularly beyond, outside of what I already explained. And I'm pretty sure there's enough funds in here to max out the our entire maze, so we'll use what we have available to us. It's actually really worrisome that they're starting to slip through in spite of the amount of AoE damage we're pumping in. It's always a losing proposition to try and patch that up with laser towers, whose damage doesn't scale with the number of enemies, and the number of enemies is usually the problem. However, they are effective for cleanup, so we'll continue to use them. In the short term, I think they're the better option, but now I should still be prioritizing these Inferno turrets until we get this outer ring completely built up. About 1,500 for a fully loaded Inferno turret, plus boost, plus overcharge. So I think we're going to switch to a mode where we just stockpile to that to slightly increase our score. And the lower level turrets are doing very, very little. And at the risk of decreasing the field of fire of one of our already established turrets, they may actually decrease our damage output. Wave 56 of 100. Money doesn't seem to come directly from killing enemies. This should actually have been pretty obvious by now. It comes as a slow trickle over time, as well as a dump that occurs whenever you finish off. Well, I don't know if it's always, but it's certainly at least some waves. And in that sense, there is a benefit to killing things later rather than earlier. You'll notice me creating this laser turret, because I've noticed it gives a meaningful increase in score. A couple, I believe it's a couple thousand points, just because you have the extra money once it kills things much later than if you build that those structures up at the front. I think we'll throw down some laser turrets up here, less for the direct damage they do and more for the slow, attempting to get more slows into this corridor. I think it's going to be a very minor effect, but still worth pursuing. And we're doing a good job of killing them before they get too far in. I don't think they've picked up a core in a while. I believe that these enemies get a slow... As waves go on and on, well, actually, they pretty obviously get a increase in health. There are some maps I know where a cannon turret at the very beginning will just automatically kill one, where not always the case. Well, actually very obviously not the case later on, so... And we've got one spot left for an Inferno turret, so might as well be upgrading this. And these remaining spots I think I want to leave for laser turrets. I'm going to do this laser turret next just because it's affecting this pocket right here, but we're approaching the point where there's not left for much left for us to do. And you can see we've already started getting to the scoring with 20 odd waves left to go. So we're going to make gold on this trivially. As such, there's no reason for me, since I'm more interested in just getting gold as my goal rather than an absolute max score, as if I were trying to go for the leaderboards, then this is... I'm focusing on just upgrading things as I have the money. I may eventually tear these towers down in order to put them in with boosts. Almost there for the final laser upgrade on this one. There we go. And overcharge. We're into silver already with 15 waves left to go. Just sit on my hands and watch the pinwheel of death laser light. Really, this is the reason why I enjoy this mode, is you get to max out all of the turrets, and it looks very pretty when you're doing it. Rather than needing to scrape by on a certain amount of minimalism to focus on getting gold, you get to play big here. In Magic the Gathering, one of my other hobbies, there's a phrase for it called Battlecruiser Magic, and this is Battlecruiser Tower Defense. Phrase for, rather than a game that focuses on the early game a lot, it is focused on doing bigger and better things in the most outlandish way possible. And we're into gold already. So now we just need to not lose. We still have our tower overcharge available, which is going to wipe out a zillion things with this many turrets already. So at 101.6 million with 5 waves left to go. Let's see how many points we can get in those last waves. There's nothing left to do but wait. I'm not going to bother with selling and rebuilding these. Waves left to go. The one that's coming out now, and then wave 100. Oh, we've wiped out 98 before 99 even really made it into the ring, so yeah, we have plenty of headroom on this now. The last wave is out already. We're at 1.83 million, so we've picked up we'll estimate and say 2.5 million, maybe as much as, or 250,000, some 275,000 in the last 5 waves. So call it 15% of our score. It's not bad. And yeah, there we go. One of my favorite play modes for these games. So thank you for watching, and join me again as we try another one of these challenge modes.